today at Cars Plus. McDonald's of Guam, I'm Loving It, and King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on Primetime, Congressman Michael Nicholas confirms during a chamber meeting a possible run for governor. Plus, Public Health is prepping to launch a Pfizer booster shot program, and unsettling numbers as new data on the COVID surge is released by Public Health.
Half a day and good evening, everyone. A potential challenger to Governor Lou Leon Guerrero has emerged for next year's gubernatorial election. Congressman Michael Nicholas acknowledged during a speech before the Chamber of Commerce today that he's considering a run for Adelup. Here's more. Congressman Nicholas confirmed the possible run to unseat incumbent and fellow Democrat Governor Lou Leon Guerrero during a virtual speaking appearance at the Chamber's monthly meeting. During the post-speech Q&A, Chamber President Catherine Castro posed the question from a member.
Can the congressman confirm if he is going to run for governor of Guam or if he is considering to do so?
We are seriously considering it. For many years, for decades, Kathy, we've always been told there's a resource problem. Oh, we can't do it because no money. Oh, we can't do it because no funding. Oh, we can't lower taxes because there's no, we need the money for this or they're doing that. We took the money excuse off the table and we've revealed behind the curtain that we have a serious execution problem.
Nicholas is in his second term as Washington delegate, but has been dogged by multiple ethics investigations. Leon Guerrero is in her first term as Guam's first female governor, navigating through some controversial decisions during the unprecedented global pandemic. The two would square off in the Democratic primary, now less than a year away, in August 2022. Public Health is launching a Pfizer booster shot program on Friday and began vaccinating frontline medical workers today. Governor's Physicians Advisory Group Chairman Dr. Nathaniel Berg says the shots will be available to the general public, but they hope people will give consideration to senior citizens 65 years and older and high-risk patients.
The idea is that we work as a community rather than making strict, okay, now it's age 65, now it's age 55, as we had to do before. We want to just take this on as a community and say, everybody who's eligible, you'll get your third dose. We want you to, but can you please let them in UMCO go first? If you have relatives who have cancer, please take them.
The program allows for self-attestation of underlying health conditions, and the CDC has identified a list of high risks, including pregnancy and even smoking. The boosters are only for 2-dose Pfizer patients. Clinics are to be set up at the usual places at the mall and UOG.
We know that the 2 doses drastically reduce the number of people who got sick, but there are so-called breakthrough infections. They're generally very mild, but we want to increase the likelihood of them remaining mild, and for those who are particularly vulnerable, to maximize the impact of the vaccine effectiveness by giving that third dose.
But the third dose vaccines were only recently approved by the CDC and are also still under emergency use authorization. While some might be put off by that, Berg believes most won't.
We think that almost everybody who is eligible will come out, because we're asking that we do this as a community. The EUA component of it, everything that we're doing with COVID, we're having to react quickly, and that's not a bad thing. The EUA, emergency use authorization, that is because we're dealing with an emergency. And on Guam, maybe we have even a higher risk of having things go badly because we have limited healthcare resources.
The multi-week surge shows little signs of slowing, but Berg says it may be reaching a plateau.
No, I would say we're not doing as well as we'd like, but we're getting there. I think the fight on the part of the community is actually working to at least stabilize things.
Berg says there's no plans for additional mandates at this time, but there's been a greater focus on data collection and analysis, including, for example, biweekly testing of teachers and students at schools. Meanwhile, booster shots are now available for those living in the CNMI. The Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation announced last night that the Pfizer booster is available for people aged 65 and older, and those ages 18 to 64 with underlying health conditions, and those 18 to 64 who are at increased risk for COVID-19 exposure and transmission due to occupational or institutional settings. And there are 3 new COVID-19 fatalities to report. One of them was just 16 years old. He was unvaccinated but had underlying health conditions. Another was a 43-year-old woman who was fully vaccinated. The third was a 71-year-old unvaccinated male. Since the weekend, there have been a total of 12 COVID-related deaths. In all, 195 people have died related to the virus since March of last year. And the numbers don't look good. New data has been released by Public Health on what they've been tracking with the current surge. Here's more.
I think that the number coming down as the virus burning out.
That was last week. Today,
our numbers seem to be, keep up in the triple digit.
Former head of the governor's Physicians Advisory Group, Dr. Hoa Nguyen, no longer tracking Guam, is done with the Delta.
We're really different in the States for some reason. The Delta surge in the States seemed to die out about 5 to 6 weeks.
But 9 weeks into our third surge, and the latest data released from Public Health shows we've got a long road ahead. According to DPHSS's Office of Epidemiology and Research, Guam will continue to remain in the current surge until the average daily cases fall to less than 25 per day. Most of the cases we're seeing now are asymptomatic. The data also shows that while there were more breakthrough cases among fully vaccinated persons in July, this has fallen to about 30 to 40%. The majority of cases are now among the unvaccinated. While there has been a slight decrease in hospitalizations, there has been an increase in patients needing ICU level of care. The data also shows that from July 8th through September 27th, there were 50 COVID-19 related deaths. 50% were dead on arrival to one of Guam's hospitals. Only 6 out of 50 were fully vaccinated. All were elderly or had multiple comorbidities. The vast majority were male at 70%, 30% female. Although Dr. Nguyen believes more should be done, he says we need to continue with the basics of washing your hands, wearing your mask, and watching your distance.
I think we really have to do something else besides what we do at this point. Is clearly it's not working. And we not put any more restriction on the community, and we let the community run its own course. I think education part is a big part of the preventive the prevention that we need to do.
Prevention, he says, would include providing more information about the importance of vaccinations, meeting with families who lost loved ones to understand why they were unvaccinated, and spread more awareness about the monoclonal antibody treatments to prevent hospitalizations. Instead of dividing the community, Dr. Nguyen says we should be fighting COVID together.
We can't assume people know everything that we know. So I hate to see people losing life like this, vaccinated or unvaccinated. They should be treated the same at this point. A life is a life.
The COVID-related death of a 16-year-old boy that we just reported has raised concern within the community, especially now that in-person classes are back for most schools. KUAM's Isaiah Uggan reports.
The Joint Information Center reported yesterday that an unvaccinated 16-year-old male was Guam's 193rd COVID-19 related fatality. He was reported with underlying health conditions who succumbed to the virus and passed away at Guam Regional Medical City on Sunday, September 26. Superintendent John Fernandez of the Guam Department of Education said that the agency doesn't have enough information to confirm that he was a student of theirs. Now that face-to-face learning has resumed, Fernandez says that it's alarming to see a child at the age to pass away from COVID.
We're concerned whenever something happens to a school-aged child, and if it's related to COVID, we're hoping that public health will share what they can so we can be prepared to take any appropriate measures as required.
GDOE Deputy Superintendent Erica Cruz said during a weekly media meeting earlier today that the department has many measures in place to mitigate the spread of the virus.
We do have a mitigation plan for each of our schools, and it's incumbent on our school administrators to ensure that they follow that mitigation plan.
Meanwhile, American Medical Center's Dr. Hoa Nguyen, who is the former chair of the Governor Physicians Advisory Group, said that the clinic has been busy as they saw 6 students in their clinic yesterday. He shared this message on the link this morning with families who have a child attending classes in person.
You have a positive family, please do not send your kid to school. That's why I tell before, if you have a positive, doesn't matter the father, the mother, or the sibling, please don't send your kid to school just because the other children in the house need to be tested before they go to school.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, Wahusi Isaiah Agan.
And Governor Leon Guerrero has extended her public health emergency declaration for another 30 days until October 29th. Her latest executive order also clarifies that all RISE program payments are not subject to garnishment. It also waives all licensing requirements, permits, or fees for healthcare professionals directly responding to the public health emergency. And speaking of healthcare professionals, the Guam Memorial Hospital is getting some much needed help. Similar to the last COVID surge, more nurses from the Department of Defense are on the way. GMH spokesperson May Habib.
Looks like we're confirmed for 15 DoD reservist nurses. The time of their landing is sometime this week. We think that they're tracking over the next day or two. That just means that boots are on the ground in terms of actually coming into GMH and being a functioning part of our scheduling and, the much needed relief that we're looking for. And we are so thankful to our federal partners for pulling through and helping us in this way. Probably towards the end of the week or early next week, we're hoping to actually have them in our rotation and
During the second surge last year, about 20 military medical professionals from both the Army and an Air Force Joint Service team were assigned to help the hospital. And once again, we invite you to voice your view on our social media with our daily question. Today's question, what countries would you like to see develop a travel bubble with Guam and the CNMI? We ask as both islands are revisiting markets in the Asia-Pacific region amid the pandemic's blow to our economies. And we'll, of course, share some of your answers on the link tomorrow with Chris and Bree. We'll be back with more news right after this.
Half a day. As we look ahead to a brighter tomorrow, Matson's commitment to Guam and Micronesia remains stronger than ever. While the world around us is ever-changing, what remains unchanged is our commitment to you, our customers, and the island communities we serve. Shipping is what we do best, and serving our community is at the heart of everything we do. But we don't do it alone. This is why we support organizations that make caring for the people and the environment a top priority. We know that many count on Matson's lifeline services in the Pacific, and that's why we continue to work hard to ensure that our shipments remain on time all the time. Matson recently added another Aloha-class vessel to our schedule. We now have two of Matson's largest and fastest ships serving Guam from the U.S. West Coast and Hawaii. With our new state-of-the-art vessels, we stand ready to support the region's economic recovery. Thank you for the privilege of serving you for the last 25 years, and you can count on Matson to be here for the next 25 years and beyond.
100% truck, 100% Jeep. Experience next-level off-roading on your new Jeep Gladiator, the most capable off-road midsize pickup truck crafted for adventure, equipped with best-in-class towing capacity, legendary 4x4 Jeep capability, and backed by Guam's only lifetime powertrain warranty. Drive home in a 2021 Jeep Gladiator today, starting as low as $315 per paycheck during Jeep Adventure Days. Visit CarsPlusGuam.com to get pre-approved online today. Terms and conditions apply. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Thanks for the Big Mac.
Yeah, thanks for driving.
Wait, what are we listening to?
Get it at McDonald's when you get two of your faves for just $6.
So you went to Mickey D's and didn't even. Man, that's wrong. What? You're all right.
Get it at McDonald's when you get two of your faves for just $6.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
Welcome back. Residents want to get tested for COVID, but many are finding it a bit of a challenge. Tyler Matanani takes us to Tamuning, where Village Mayor Luis Rivera explains how misinformation and a lack of free sites have posed barriers in testing efforts.
Tamuning Mayor Luis Rivera says her office has placed many calls to village residents, urging them to get tested for COVID.
A lot of the response has been good, saying that,
They appreciate our calls.
But what seems to be the common theme amongst village mayors when placing house calls is finding out residents have COVID but don't know where they can get tested for free. Misinformation about free testing at the Tier 2 clinics have posed challenges in testing efforts.
We were seeing the difficulty in trying to get in to get tested there because appointments needed to be made, and then there was still an administrative fee. They were saying it's free.
Residents are advised to take advantage of the free testing going on in Tidzin. For some, the process is a smooth one, but for others,
I'm doing fine here at home, so I don't want to go and get tested because they're saying that even just the long wait is making them sick. I think we need more testing sites.
members of the community can get tested for free on Mondays and Fridays in Inalahan at the Southern Regional Community Health Center and Monday through Saturday at the Old Tidzin Carnival Grounds. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Tyler Matsanani.
If you love to travel to Japan, you might be able to book tickets to Tokyo at the end of the week. The Japanese government will reportedly lift parts of its COVID-19 state of emergency as early as tomorrow. Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga said restrictions in 27 of Japan's 47 prefectures could be partially suspended, but bars and restaurants might not immediately return to business as usual. Last month, Japan experienced a surge in COVID cases, but vaccinations have been ramping up in that country. And more information is being released about a settlement between contractor Samsung and Marble Cave owner World Meridian Sasayan. Attorney Mike Phillips said Samsung agreed to remediate and improve Marble Cave, including providing better and safer access to the property. Phillips adds that Samsung has the expertise and resources, and the landowner has agreed to lease Samsung the land to do so. Samsung is a contractor hired by KEPCO to build a solar farm in Manila. It failed to implement required sediment and erosion control plans and was responsible for stormwater runoff damage to surrounding private properties. The Attorney General has also filed suit against the company. That case is still pending. And a bill to establish a new local war claims program to accommodate an estimated 700 claimants who missed out the first time around was advanced to the voting file during legislative session today. Senator Amanda Shelton, speaking for bill sponsor Vice Speaker Tina Barnes, explains the process.
Upon enactment, the administration will have up to 30 calendar days to transmit a plan for the payment of locally adjudicated claims. Bill 130-36 further authorizes the governor to transfer such funds as necessary to pay what is rightfully owed to our war survivors.
The administration established a similar program in January of 2020 to expedite more than 1,000 payments for those who were still waiting on the Federal War Claims Commission. After many years, the World War II Loyalty Recognition Act authorized the payment of claims using Section 30 funds. These are reimbursements for federal taxes collected here that are paid to Guam every year. Senator Joanne Brown points out the bitter irony in that.
Now we're put in the situation of having to pay the past, but it also means taking from the future. And I wrestle with this because I know that the loved ones in my family that suffered during the war are no longer here. I can never give them that sense of peace as a result of this. But we need to be mindful, we are taking from the future to pay for the past ourselves.
An amendment by Senator Tello Taidagui establishes a 5-member local adjudication committee to review the applications. In police news, 40-year-old Zachary John San Agustin Matabusan was pulled over by police after his car matched the description of a vehicle involved in a disturbance in Dededo. After it was determined he had an outstanding warrant, he tried to flee while an officer held onto the driver's side door. Matabusan then tried to take the officer's gun. When he pulled back and fell onto the road, Matabusan sped off. On Monday, though, he turned himself into Superior Court Marshals and was then arrested by police. He's charged with aggravated assault, assault on a police officer, all with special allegations for use of a deadly weapon in the commission of a felony. He faces additional charges of disarming a peace officer, resisting arrest, and eluding a peace officer. And UOG's Guam Green Growth Initiative continues to push forward with its island sustainability goals. Today, G3 and its partners held a virtual meeting to discuss the latest plans to build a greener and more sustainable community. KUAM's Hannah Davanzo has this report.
90% of food on Guam is imported, leaving the island dependent on supply chains. G3 is working to locally source its aquaculture and agriculture. Some efforts included the start of a community garden in Hagåtña. Austin Shelton, co-chair of G3, has been working with its partners to inspire the community.
Garden in Hagåtña across the post office, and now they're ready to start their.
It serves as a beacon of education and production to inspire local food security.
In further efforts, 5 aquaponics systems harvesting fish will soon be installed throughout the island.
Training has started with mayor's offices and community groups who will run the aquaponics systems. Soon we'll be installing 5 of these units throughout the island in the coming months.
G3 is also working to create a more sustainable community through 23 recycling bins and 50 waste bins coming soon to the island. They are also encouraging the community to start bringing the reusable bags to stores before the new law comes into effect.
In accordance with Public Law 35-130 in January 2022, the full plastic bag ban will go into effect, and in July 2022, paper bags will also be phased out at local retailers. Thank you to Senator Regine Bisco-Lee, one of our working group members who authored this legislation.
This Friday, a weekly cleanup with the G3 Conservation Corps will take place in Molesu. They will meet at the Molesu Mayor's office at 8 a.m. If you'd like to get involved, visit the Guam's Green Growth website where you can register to volunteer. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Hannah Davanzo.
Black Construction Corporation has been awarded a $122 million military contract to build a machine gun range at Northwest West Field on Anderson Air Force Base. Included in the project is the construction of a range control tower and an ammunition distribution point. The work is expected to be completed by October of 2024. Also at Anderson, a military contract was also awarded to ARS Alute Construction based in Tamuning. It won a $50 million deal for minor construction work as tasked at the Air Force Base. The contract is for 7 years. Dave Delgado's next with sports. Please stay with us.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your 4th meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Mas.
The new crispy chicken sandwich taco from Taco Bell. Is it a sandwich or a taco? Which side are you on? Try it only at Taco Bell.
Do you feel like you're missing out on something? Make life more rewarding with Pacific Points. Earn and redeem points for bill rebates and free load at IT&E, discounts on fuel at Shell, vouchers at Foodies, and United Mileage Plus miles. You can even pay with Pacific Points at IT&E, Shell, and Foodies. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Say hello to the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app. Got a question about your finances? You've come to the right place. Bring all your accounts together, even those that aren't with us, and see the big picture, right down to the smallest detail. Unlock powerful tools like Insights and Money Map that help you save time and take control of your finances. When you connect accounts with the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, it all starts with yes.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Kiara Hutchinson,
2021 graduate of Notre Dame High School, recently getting the call up to play for the Massacada, our women's national soccer team. Where were you when you got the word, and how did you feel when they announced that you are vying for the goalkeeping spot on the team?
I would say it happened when I got back from the training camp back when we traveled to Chula Vista after I had finished training with the U20s. When I came back, seeing as I had both aged out of that age group, I had started training with the Massacada, but I really got word for it when we found out that we were going to Lebanon, but then, you know, all of that stuff changing. But that was when I found out that I was being called up to really play for our team.
And it shows your hard work's paid off. You've been in the program for a while now, and you know, what does it say to the coaching staff to believe in your skills and what you offer to play on the women's national team?
I've been in the national program since I was 12, so recently it would be about 6 years, and it's truly an honor to be called up, especially because when I first traveled with Massacada, I was about 14 years old, and now that I'm actually having the chance to start for them is really a show of my progress as a keeper, and that my coaches truly have faith in me, and I'm really proud of myself, and I'm really excited to represent our island in this upcoming tournament.
The goalkeeping position is a tough position facing, you know, teams overseas. And, you know, for you personally, what are some of the things that you do to prepare yourself for your position?
I take my coach's advice definitely into consideration whenever I'm doing something, especially when it comes to set plays and new possible playing styles that we're doing. And with that, I'm able to adjust and figure out what I need to do, as well as communicate with my teammates as well, because soccer is it's a great sport, but it makes it even better when the team is able to communicate properly with each other. And that's a part of my job as a goalkeeper, learning to be able to communicate with my teammates and being able to support them in any way I can.
Well, you were able to get in offensively for the Royals and score some goals the last time you played high school soccer. So seeing that side of the game and translating it to the defensive side, how has that helped you as far as maybe just vision on the field in general?
I find that goalkeeping actually helped me play striker more than striker helping me play goalkeeping, for the basic fact that I was originally a goalkeeper and then got put up to striker, so I already understood what the keeper was looking for and what angles that is really hard for a keeper to get. You know, it's one of those things. And so it helped me more offensively than it did defensively. In all honesty, it's really nerve-wracking because the last time KUAM was invited to play in this tournament like this was when I was born. So it's nerve-wracking, it's an honor, and I'm really excited to be able to partake in this because it's been such a long time since KUAM was invited out to participate in this tournament, and I really think that we can come out successful.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
You are everything that matters to me, and I promise to do whatever it takes to keep you healthy, to be comfortable, and to be free. I love you. As long as we're together, I'll always make sure that home will always be our best place to breathe.
When making the new Kentucky Fried Chicken sandwich, people asked how I felt about burger places selling fried chicken. I'd say that's none of my business. Just like making fried chicken is none of theirs. Get the new Kentucky Fried Chicken sandwich. It's finger-licking good.
And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
Happy birthday on this Wednesday, September 29 to Jacob White, Cruz Canetta. Happy birthday number 10, double digits, Jacob. From Mom, Dad, Britt, Nate, Jolie, Jada, Mello, and the rest of the family, they all say, we love you so much. Happy 10th birthday. Benny Rosalind Sr., happy birthday to you, and we wish you countless blessings of health and happiness. That's great. Have a wonderful day. Love, Benny Jr. and the entire family. Happy birthday to Benny. Ingebong Jesus, happy birthday, Mom and Oma. We wish you a very blessed day, and we love you. says your Barragata family. Happy birthday number 14 to Dion James Regis Babalta, coming from your dad and the Babalta Familia. Happy birthday to you. Celebrating birthday number 2 today, Roxanne Johnny, who's getting love from mommy and brother Landon. Also, happy birthday to Charlene Tidiguyu, celebrates birthday number 19. That's a lot of candles to blow out. Charlene, you are getting love from your whole family. And happy birthday to one of our own here at KUM, our very own Byron Rodriguez. He's a music guy, he's a video guy, he knows a lot about movies, really super cool guy. And we are so lucky to have him part of our team. Byron, happy birthday to you, brother. We hope you have a fantastic day.
Happy birthday, V. And remember, you can be